Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today, have you ever called something a clone but worse just because it does something similar to something else, but it happens to come out afterwards? For example, people make the argument that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a clone of Smash Brothers, but worse, and Hey Gibson, you're a clone of your cousin Eric, but worse, and to that I reply, come on, I'm trying my best. Today we're going to be talking about a clone of... Oh, look at that. Pokemon, but worse. The real question is, which one? There are hundreds of monster taming games that we could talk about, like Temtem or Digimon or maybe even Koromon. But today we're talking about my personal favorite, Nexomon Extinction. So what is Nexomon? Nexomon is a monster taming game originally released on the App Store in 2017. While the game is good, I feel like you could make the clone argument for this game. You can tell it took heavy influence from Pokemon, but it was anything but a clone. It had an intriguing story with complex characters and scenarios. It wasn't just go to the gym and beat up people, then beat up bad guys, rinse and repeat. It had an interesting world, even though it was a bit linear, interesting mechanics, and neat creature design. But we're not talking about the original game that was remastered for PCs and consoles in 2021. No, we're going to be talking about the sequel that came out in 2020 for modern consoles and PC, titled Nexomon Extinction. Now, I'm going to be talking about story and characters and mechanics and all things, but I'm going to try and keep it spoiler free because I like this game and I want you out there to play it. So this is going to be a spoiler free review. The story is quite simple. You wake up in the orphanage that you live in and meet these guild tamers who tell you that you're old enough to become a Nexomon tamer. Your goal is to join and climb the ranks of the Nexomon guild and to defeat these dangerous Nexomon tyrants. There's definitely more that I can say, but I don't want to get into spoilers like I said, 30 seconds ago. It does get crazy though. The plot is pretty simple, and that kinda helps it. I beat the game in 27 hours, and I surprisingly remembered everything by the end. All the characters are extremely well thought out as well. Some are very funny, like Coco, and others are kinda like your friendly rivals, kinda like Ross. Also, if you played the first game, like I did, you will definitely say, oh yeah, it's them, at least once. Compared to the first game, the world is mostly open to you. Many areas are unlocked through progression, but it doesn't tell you exactly where you have to go. The openish world may seem like a hassle, but this lets for over 500 side quests all over the world, which for people who love a sense of completion, yeah, that'll keep them busy for a while. As for gameplay mechanics, it's a monster catching RPG. You have turn-based battles with creatures with one of 9 types: normal, fire, water, plant, wind, electric, mineral, psychic, and ghost. You level them up and evolve them to become stronger. You can teach them new moves and forget old ones that they could relearn at any time. Unlike in Pokemon, if they forget an old move or pass up a new move, they could learn it again for a small fee. There are also no HMs or moves required to do certain things for progression. There is something similar, but you don't need like someone to have a bunch of moves just for it. There are also a bunch of different Nexo traps to catch these creatures, and there is a standard Nexo trap, a trap for every type in the game, and a golden one that has a 100% catch rate, so basically a Master Ball. There is also a feeding mechanic where you can feed wild Nexomon to increase their odds of being caught. It is cool, but you have to do a pattern minigame every time you want to catch something, which can sometimes be annoying. Also, in a post-game update, they added cores which can be crafted to alter your Nexomon's stats, which adds complexity. You can boost health, speed, defense, strength, and the experience that they gain from each battle.
Compared to other recent monster tamers, these designs are quite creative. Some of my favorite designs in the game are the 9 starters, the tyrants, and the legendaries. The final boss, for example, is really, as the kids would say, epic. I saw one reviewer say that this series' art style is a modern adaptation of the GBA's Pokemon game's art style, and I couldn't agree more. The little characters in the overworld are the best example of this. This game's art style is simple, yet can be complex when it needs to be, and I like it.
Well, now I've talked about most of the main features in the game. Shouldn't I be, wrapping this up by now? No. I still have 2 things left to discuss.
There was an update released for the game titled the Abyssals Update. The Abyssals Update added a new post-game questline, new regions, and even Nexomon from the old games, as well as the new Abyssal Tyrants. It's a free download and can be played right now. And the last thing I need to mention is that once you beat the campaign once, you unlock a full customization mode. You can change the difficulty and make it so Nuzlocke rules apply. This game has 4 save slots and a built-in randomizer. Pokemon couldn't do that in 20 years, while this game was made by indies and released on mobile devices.
I truly enjoyed my journey. There was really no point that I would call bad in this game. The creature designs are fun, the locations are vibrant and colorful, and the characters kept me laughing. It even had a hint of difficulty. But difficulty can be good. Sword and shield. I also didn't run into a single bug or glitch throughout my entire adventure, which means it's more polished than every single Pokemon game on the Switch. Overall, if you want to introduce yourself to the monster taming genre or want to play another game akin to the original Pokemon games, then might I suggest Nexomon Extinction. Or if you really want to get crazy, you can play the first game too. I would say that Extinction is better than the first game just because there's, the UI is better and it was actually designed for consoles and PC, not, mobile devices. And as you might have picked up already, I kind of prefer Nexomon Extinction to some of the newer Pokemon games, basically Gen 7 and onwards. I beat the game under 30 hours and didn't have to grind too much, but with the Abyssals update that I haven't really played, yeah, it would stretch out your playtime. By the end, the game did feel a bit too long and it started to drag on, but at that point I was almost done. I probably had an hour or 2 left. The sad thing is, though, that people are just gonna sweep this game under the rug and call it a Pokemon clone. Even though the only similarity between these two is the fact that it's a monster catching and taming RPG. Where you catch them and you battle them. That's the only similarity between these games. It's not a clone. I am sick and tired of people calling games like this clones of other games. By that logic, every single platformer would be a copy of Mario. Crash Team Racing is a copy of Mario Kart. Hollow Knight's a Metroid clone. Your logic doesn't even add up. People call new games and old genres clones because of nostalgia, and they were just the original ones to do it, and it makes me sick. This game is not a clone. It's a monster taming RPG. Whew. Need to get that off my chest. I actually thought about it for a minute. Maybe we should be comparing this game to Pokemon. So, yeah, I looked through all the possible ways to compare these two genres, and I decided on the best way to compare them. Which game has better looking trees? I think we all know who the winner is.